Hi everyone! Today I would like to talk about the role of DevOps. Sometimes people ask me what DevOps really does, what comes into the scope of this role. And this question is quite complex. There is no trivial answer to what DevOps really does. So initially when this role only appeared, and it was quite some time ago, DevOps was doing development operations, and development operations what is basically coming from the role naming, which makes sense, yeah. But development operations, it was about continuous integration, continuous deployment, about builds, about environment where those builds are running. The tool where DevOps was spending most of the time was something like Jenkins or any other similar tool. But the things have changed a lot, and especially they have changed when clouds start to come up. So at this moment, companies, they started to migrate their environments into clouds. Suppose before a company had some on-prem servers which were managed by administrators, so basically people who are managing hardware, and at some moment companies start to migrate their workloads to cloud. Obviously they still would like to have operations, they still would like to have CI/CD pipelines that would deploy into cloud, and maybe builds will already run on cloud instances. And at this moment, companies, they need a person who would set it up. And administrator who was managing hardware before probably is not the best person to work with cloud. And then at this moment, company still didn't have a role of cloud engineer. And that's why often more experienced engineer, or maybe architect, or maybe DevOps was becoming the person who was setting up cloud, who was setting up builds, deployments into cloud. But when you set up cloud, it's more than that. You set up cloud landscape, you set up accounts, you create virtual networks in cloud, you do migrations of resources into cloud, and often, not always of course, but often it was also handled by DevOps. And as a result, many companies, they created teams of experts. Often these are cross-functional teams, which include also DevOps, who yesterday were doing operations, just CI/CD part, and then they became a kind of cloud engineers. But it doesn't matter. But it doesn't mean that their name of their role has changed. Sometimes these kind of teams are named DevOps teams. Sometimes they can be named platform teams, infrastructure teams, or whatever else. And individuals who work there, they also can have different roles, because those teams can be cross-functional. So they can be named DevOps, they can be named cloud architects, infrastructure engineers, so many names. However, at the end, when working in such a cross-functional team, those roles get mixed. And DevOps can easily do infrastructure or architecture in cloud. And as a result, in different companies nowadays, the scope of DevOps can be very different. So still, there are companies where DevOps would do just operations, only operation part, so DevOps team would have a very narrow scope. From the other side, there are companies where DevOps teams can be kind of platform team, and they will manage a whole cloud environment. They can act as architects, they can create virtual network setup, and etc., manage cloud databases, and etc., and even be kind of site reliability engineers, making sure that all environments work reliably, that production environments are available, and so on. So this can be quite different. And as I've already mentioned, the names of the roles, they can be sometimes interchangeable, and In some companies, a person who does DevOps, in another company can be named, for example, cloud architect or site reliability engineer or cloud engineer. Yeah, so that's all for today. Just a brief summary that nowadays the role of DevOps can have a wide scope, and it's not easy to outline what are the responsibilities of DevOps in general, because in each company it can be very different. And hope it was interesting for you, and thank you for your attention. Bye bye.